midfield, number 8, mid. Number 24, midfielder. Number 6 at midfielder. Midfielder number 7, Sebastian. Number 9, forward, Omar. And forward, number 17, Jerome.
This was the scene at the El Paso International Airport, the returning, conquering heroes as Locomotive FC defeated Fresno in come-from-behind fashion in their very first ever playoff game. It is a little bit different energy around the Sun City. It is blue and it is gold as El Paso lights up the night sky, flags flying all over the place for El Paso Locomotive. You can really notice it all around El Paso, Texas, as we're here for Western Conference semifinal playoff action tonight, Locomotive versus Sac Republic.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for the city of El Paso. The buzz around the city, the buzz around the stadium with right before kickoff has been terrific. So the team is ready. It's going to be a great night for soccer here in El Paso.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at how we got here. No doubt about all of this energy as we take a look at El Paso's highlights versus Fresno. Josue Aron Gomez, he scores early. Fresno, they thought they had it off the line. That was not the case, but two quick goals in the opening parts of the second half. And Fresno not only right back up on level terms, but there they take the lead. And it took until the 77th minute, but watch this move. Sebastian Velasquez, James Kiffey, 19 yards out and an absolute rip to level the game. And from there, Locomotive was able to get a penalty kick in the late going. Sebastian Velasquez with his fourth of the season, come from behind, 3-2 win for Locomotive FC. Just an absolutely special time for this young squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goal from James Kiffey was so timely. Fresno FC had just missed an opportunity, a wide open sitter 5 minutes prior to that, and for James Kiffey to score that and level it up 2-2 was absolutely terrific. And Sebastian Velasquez doing what he was brought here to do, putting the team on his back and getting the game winner, was absolutely fantastic for this group. They've worked very hard and they definitely deserve that win.
Sacramento Republic FC, a little bit different and a harder road to get here as we take a look at their results. At home, 2-1, come from behind win over New Mexico, and a 3-1 resounding win in Reno against 1868 FC. That is their road to get here. This is not a team that El Paso can overlook, Mike.
Absolutely not. And in both those games against Reno during the regular season, Reno was able to get the better of Sacramento. So this is something that El Paso is very aware of and know that just because they won in the two prior meetings, they're not going to take them lightly tonight. They're going to come out and they're going to put on a performance, and it's going to be a great night for El Paso.
El Paso in the regular season, 2 wins versus this Sacramento Republic team. Can they make it 3? We'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is Southwest University Park, a cool, crisp November evening. Great for playoff soccer. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun as we take a look at Locomotive FC starting lineup. The missing number, 25, Brian Rebellon, still out of this lineup. That is a big loss for Mark Lowry's team, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a player that was up for contention for Defender of the Year, so you know the caliber of a player that he is, the caliber of a defender that he is, if he's up for a Defender of the Year. So that's going to be a big loss. However, Juvecki is definitely one with experience, and he's going to do great in there.
Let's take a look at Sacramento Republic FC. 2 playoff games down, and it's just been a great piece of postseason work for the 2014 champions of the USL Championship. And Cameron Iwasa, the Sacramento kid, is leading the way in goal scoring and in more ways than one as Republic FC. In against El Paso Locomotive in the regular season, 2 losses. That was May the 18th here in El Paso, a 3-1 loss. El Paso Locomotive FC, a 2-1 win in Sacramento on September the 28th. In the rain, it was a bit of a muck, but Locomotive FC gets the victory. Can they make it 3 in a row? Does that play into something? Is it difficult to beat a team 3 times?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, and we saw that with the result against Reno in their first playoff game this season. Reno had the better of them the last 2 times they met during the regular season. However, not able to get that 3rd win, and we know El Paso has that in mind, and they're very aware of that, and they're going to come out and try to make sure they get the win tonight.
Our referee tonight, Farhad Darko. Kevin Locke and Art Arastamian are the assistant referees. Greg Dobke is our 4th, and we are underway from El Paso, Texas. 8th notch already has the smoke pots working. Blue and gold. Sacramento Republic FC. Huge 3-1 win on the road in Reno. This is 4 days roughly after beating New Mexico United at Papa Murphy's Park in Sacramento. And if they had a vote held for USL Championship goal of the postseason, I dare you to find anything better than Thomas Enevoldsen's wonder strike that turned out to be the game winner in that game versus United.
The level of difficulty on that goal is insane. To be able to hit it off the shoulder first time on the volley was absolutely terrific. The technique, everything about that goal was absolutely class, and he deserves an award for that goal.
And that was 5 yards off the back line. The degree of difficulty to put it far post and in, first time for the Danish veteran as Locomotive FC. Josue Aron Gomez keeps possession and rolls one. Bobby Shuttlesworth, New England Revolution. At the start of his career, Minnesota United up to this year on loan as of August the 10th. Pretty nice when you can pick up somebody like that to be your backstop mid-season. 3 clean sheets as well in his short time in Sacramento. Girls one, Chiro and Toko clears it. Good work on the left-hand side, though. Sacramento Republic right back at it. And it's NCAA champion Sam Werner challenging from the left.
And the El Paso fans will remember Sam Werner for the last time the Sacramento Republic were in town. He's very dangerous on the ball, and he serves a dangerous ball on set pieces. So he's someone that they're going to have to keep an eye on, and Drew Becky's he's going to have to make sure he's keeping Sam Werner at bay if the Locomotive are going to have a chance of winning this game.
Just 23 years old, young man from Bozeman, Montana. Was a part of the Stanford Cardinal 3-time champions, 2015 to 2017. I believe at some point he upended your Akron Zips, correct?
Not something we talk about.
Okay, excuse me. You're in the early going. Sebastian Velasquez, Kiesewetter drawing the contact from Dekel Kenan. Kenan, the Israeli international, turned 35 last September, but still in the starting 11. He is Sacramento Republic's Richie Ryan, if you're looking for parallels. Guy who's been across the world, done it all in the world of soccer, and a huge part of the Sacramento Republic locker room. Doesn't always get into games, but when he does, still makes an impact. Locomotive FC in this early going. You talk about both of these squads, and I think that one of the reasons they're still here at this point is the business they have all done, both of them, Sacramento Republic and Locomotive FC, in the midseason to pick up players for Sac Republic like Thomas Enevoldsen, like Bobby Shuttleworth.
Absolutely. Those mid-season acquisitions are paid tremendous dividends for both clubs. In El Paso, you have Sebastian Velasquez, you have Jose Aron Gomez. Even though he wasn't added mid-season, he came on and started featuring towards the mid-season, and you've seen how crucial both of those players have been in the last few weeks for the Locomotive.
You and I were talking beforehand about the contributions of Jose Aron Gomez as well. His partnership with Sebastian Velasquez has yielded big results for this Locomotive squad down the stretch.
Yeah,
even though he's been here on loan the entire season just about.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see him get rewarded for his professionalism, him showing up day to day and continue to train hard and just waiting for his number to get called upon, and to see him get rewarded for that towards the end of this season and into this playoffs has been absolutely terrific. He's a player that's going to have to show up and be big for the Locomotive in this game. Every game that he scored in, the Locomotive have won, and they've only tied one in every game that Jose Aron Gomez has scored in. So if he's able to get on the board, that's a good sign for Locomotive.
Velasquez steps through trouble. Good switch out to James Kiffey, the man who scored the tying goal versus Fresno, just his second professional goal. Here's Ross, he'll get that to deflect. Velasquez. Ross. Velasquez, Kiffey trying to play it out of trouble and rolled in touch by Jordan McCrary. Kiffey, just his second professional goal, but what a strike. An easy loft for Shuttleworth. As Sacramento Republic tries to counter, but not able to get past Velasquez. Here is Salgado, cracks one, tipped away by Shuttleworth. Omar Salgado, looking dangerous in Locomotive FC, earns a corner kick.
That's well done. It all started with the pressure, the high pressure from the Locomotive, winning the ball high up the field, and Omar Salgado just driving into the box and looking to get a shot off, and the keeper does everything he needs to do to just get a hand on that and tip it out for a corner kick.
Nick Ross, who's come on to take corners a little more lately. Salgado waiting out there nearby if they decide to take a short corner, which they do. Drew Becky playing right back. He'll pop one to the far post, looking for Ntoko, a little too far. Ntoko will run it down. Scoops it back for Yuma. The veteran Spaniard out to Kiffey. Ntoko. Andy Fox springing forward. That's a high cross and over the back line, goal kick. But good early pressure by Locomotive FC here in just the 8th minute. The winner of this match will face Real Monarchs SC 1 p.m. next Saturday, because as somebody I think it was you pointed out to me, they don't have lights. Beautiful, beautiful Zions Bank Stadium. They're in the greater Salt Lake City area, but it will be a 1 p.m. kick next Saturday as Real Monarchs takes down the Giants, the Giant Killers. A resounding 2-1 win in come from behind fashion against the team that dominated the Western Conference all regular season long, Phoenix Rising. Here's Salgado. High cross and not able to get it to go where he wanted it to go.
It's good work early on from Omar Salgado, really driving at that back line of Sacramento. if he's able to continue this and put pressure on them with his pace and his ability to drive at the defense, it's gonna force Sacramento to continue to retreat, and then there's space in the midfield for the likes of Nick Ross and Sebastian Velasquez. So that's well done for Omar Salgado, really putting pressure on Sac Republic early on in this game.
Matt Mahoney may have his hands full tonight. They're on Sacramento's left side. That'll bounce up off the hand of Aleman, and it is called.
There's only one hand, ref.
Salgado, the native El Pasoan, top draft pick of the Vancouver Whitecaps in 2011. El Paso's first #1 draft choice in anything. How about Kiesewetter? Trying to get a touch, it bounced a little too far, and Shuttleworth the easy gather. But Locomotive, opportunistic in the early going. Sac Republic really hasn't had a whole lot of possession outside of maybe the opening minute or two in El Paso's half of the field.
You see both teams still somewhat trying to fill each other out. Sac Republic still trying to find their way into the game. I feel like this is going to be a chess match all night from both teams, from both managers, figuring out how to exploit the other team's weaknesses.
Good work by McCrary on that right side to spring some room, and he's going for the header. Seen out by Fox, and it'll be a goal kick for Logan Ketterer. And you know, Ketterer is playing with a chip on his shoulder. He was the man who pretty much, as they put it in hockey, served up the pizza for that second goal against Fresno. And fourth in the USL Championship with 12 clean sheets in the season. He is proud of the job he does. And you know he's going to be working to try and keep Locomotive going in this playoff race in the Western Conference. Here's a cross, and off of Ross, it will go out for a corner. And Evolson trying to deliver one. First corner of the match for Sac Republic. On its way to Major League Soccer in 2022, Papa Murphy's Park has been mostly full most of this season. But they'll be moving on to a brand new stadium in the Rail Yards district of Sacramento. Corner delivered, Aleman cleared out of trouble by Becky. And from the back, that one sails away from Jordan McCrary. Throw in coming for Locomotive FC. But after a long battle, Sacramento Republic, congratulations to Kevin Nagel, who has been the force behind Sac Republic's drive forever. They needed a little bit of help, and that came in the form of Ron Burkle, chief owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And finally, after years of getting close, of being rumored to be in the conversation, and then suddenly they get skipped over, October the 21st, they learned that they will be the 29th Major League Soccer franchise.
It's terrific for the fan base of Sacramento. They've made it no secret what their intentions are and what they want to do, what their goals are in terms of soccer in that area. They've always shot to become an MLS franchise, and to see them get rewarded, to see the faithful Sacramento fans get rewarded with an MLS franchise has been absolutely terrific.
Gomez receives that long ball. Off in the corner, it'll be a corner kick. McCrary trying to get something. Josue Aron Gomez, loaned to El Paso by his sister, a Locomotive sister squad, FC Juarez Bravos, when Bravos were an Ascenso team. And of course, Bravos have now gotten into Liga MX. Gomez has been here for most of the season. They had to wait for some of his international paperwork to get here. But here ends Locomotive a corner, and here's Kiffy. Into the box, looking for Intoko, last touched by Sacramento Republic. Kanan keeping it out of trouble.
You see the Locomotive really trying to find the head of Chiro Intoko on the first and the second corner kick. We'll see where they look to who they look to target here. I'd imagine it'd be Chiro Ntoko or Andrew Fox.
Kiffy to the far post. That'll be knotted out of trouble by Republic. The rebound bounces to Drew Becky. And a good cross by Kiffy. A little too far. Too much steam behind it. And it'll be a throw-in for Sacramento Republic FC.
We've seen the Locomotive serve a few balls into the box and really overhit them. Omar Sagrado from the right side, and this time from James Kiffy. They're going to have to get some quality service into the box and really test that back line of Sac Republic if they're going to be successful tonight.
Select the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the league's finest leagues in the world since 1947. Select the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Velasquez pressuring. And after the opening kickoff in the first 2 or 3 minutes or so, Locomotive has certainly had the better of the ball of this first half. Kiffy, the former Sacramento Republic man, came on his first professional season, was Sacramento Republic's first professional season, and they won a USL championship in their inaugural year. Locomotive FC would love some of that. The last expansion team for the 2019 expansion of the USL Championship still alive in the postseason. Kiffy, that's a bit dangerous around Iwasa, but he knew where he was going. Chiro Ntoko. A lot of space for the big man. He'll vault it to the left, and here is Ross. Trying to deliver to Kiesewetter, and it will be seen out by McCrary. Oh, how about that? Ross with a touch gets taken down. No, says the referee. Fans howling.
You see the Sac Republic players really frustrated, feeling like this ball was out of play. It clearly was not, and Nick Ross does a really good job to battle that. I think that's a clear PK. The defender does not get a touch on the ball and makes contact with Nick Ross. That should have been a penalty.
Mr. Dodko, our referee, very firm in his decision, waved the finger to say no foul. The replay might show otherwise, but there is no VAR in the USL Championship. There are some folks who might be pretty happy with that. Not El Paso tonight right now. Mark Lowry. What a season he has strung together. There are players in his squad who are older than he is. And for him to come up with the effort that he has put into this inaugural season, to put this lineup together from nothing, and to still be here in early November is really something else. Flag is up. That is offside.
That's much better from the Locomotive, really interchanging the position from the players, getting James Kiffy a little bit higher up the field. Nick Ross and Jose Aaron Gomez have really done a good job interchanging position with Jose Aaron Gomez coming inside, Nick Ross going outside, really trying to find a way to break down that block of Sacramento.
Shuttleworth will await the whistle. Locomotive fans fond of saying Chuco, which is the Pachuco nickname for El Paso, Texas. As I've seen it put in print in a number of publications, El Paso, for many Latinos, is the Ellis Island of the Southwest. A lot of folks pass through here to go to places like Los Angeles, Dallas, Chicago. It's good work by Aleman, still on the ball. Yuma gets a piece, and that will spring Salgado. Kiffy. Great piece by Nick Murray of the USL Championship on James Kiffey and his very timely goals. There were two. There have been two. Those are his only two professional goals. As much as he likes to attack, he has only scored one in 2016 for Sacramento Republic, and the tying goal last week in the 77th versus Fresno. And what a rocket. You saw the highlights in the opening sequence there. 19 yards out, doing some dangling right on the edge of the area, and just uncorks one that went left upper 90. You won't find many more impressive goals. I'll have to put Andy Voltson's up there, but that was a heck of a strike.
Absolutely, and what was more impressive about that goal is just when it came in the game. Fresno had just had an opportunity to go up 3-1. They missed a sitter right in front of the goal, and 5 minutes later, James Kiffey gets an opportunity to level up and make it 2-2, and he delivers. So it was absolutely terrific for him to get onto the end of it, and he struck it really well. Not on his favorite left foot, but he does a good job to get a clean hit on it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Good work by the team captain, Chiro Ntoko, seeing that one through the area. Let the ball do the work for him. Velasquez trying to deliver one to Salgado, right wing, but that one's blown up by Juan Barahona. Good slide by Yuma, but Sac Republic will come up with possession here. Andy Voltson along the left. Warner. Beckett gets a piece. Warner keeps possession. Back to Sam Warner. A little high cross that one. Nobody in a white and gray jersey on the other side. Logan Ketterer, the easy takedown.
That's definitely going to be a matchup to keep our eye on. We know Sam Warner, how dangerous he is in terms of delivering balls into the box, and you can see what Sacramento Republic are trying to do early on in keeping him out wide and having him go at Drew Becky 1v1 and try to get service into the box.
And here is Salgado. Salgado, the cross. It'll bounce back for Velasquez. Kiffey into the box, delivered over the head of Jerome Kiesewetter, who goes down in a heap, but Mitchell Taintor the better angle. Kiesewetter still down. Bundesliga veteran brought in late April. Saw his first action in Locomotive's loss here at home to Phoenix Rising FC, but then went on a tear, 3 straight games with braces, as El Paso will have yet another corner. It will be Ross, the Scotsman. Scottish Premier League veteran. Velasquez, last touched, and it'll be a goal kick for Bobby Shuttleworth. You talk about the midseason business for the Sacramento Republic team. Andy Voltson, of course, Shuttleworth on loan. Juan Barahona, a part of that as well.
McCrary.
Right. And every one of them has made an impact. To have somebody like Andy Voltson, who had, by the time he came to Sacramento, already scored 10 and assisted on 5 for Indy 11. I mean, I know the man's in his 30s now, but gee whiz. That's an easy choice. Oh, he's on the market? Yes, please.
Not sure why Indy 11 would give up a player like that. However, they decided to. And Sacramento Republic have ripped the benefit of having a player of his caliber on their roster.
5 goals for Andy Voltson and 4 assists in his time with Sacramento Republic. Total of 15 and 6 apples on the season for the Dane. Danish international, as well as Warner gets taken down. Drew Becky doing some work on that right-hand side. As you pointed out, one of those one-on-one battles to keep an eye on. Sacramento Republic high attempted a switch. Andy Fox keeps it moving out. Iwasa with a touch, and they'll get it out to Werner. Ready to go to work. Werner, the high cross over everyone's head. Good work by Aleman to keep it in. He'll deliver it back in, and it will be seen over the back line by Becky for the goal kick.
The Locomotive are doing a really good job of finding Iwasa and Edenwatsi on those services from out wide from Sam Warner. They're going to have to make sure they keep an eye on those guys and defending the services, because that's what Sacramento is relying on, is the service from out wide from Sam Warner on that far right side.
Salgado trying to keep possession. He will not. Werner to Iwasa. Back to Werner. Takes a tumble, and Becky is going to go into the book. Drew Becky, first caution of the game in just the 25th minute. How much does that play into Mark Lowry's thinking about how far Becky's going to go in this game?
I think that it's definitely a late challenge. It's definitely a yellow card. I think for Drew Becky, it's more of a message to Sam Warner is, hey, this is not going to be an easy game for you. I'm going to make this really difficult for you. And that tackle was sending a message to Sam Warner. On the flip side of that, now he's on a yellow card, and he's got to be a bit more cautious. And Sam Warner's going to know that because he's a good player, and he's going to want to take on Drew Becky a bit more.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the United Soccer League to develop its local youth and compete at the highest levels across the United States. That includes the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Locomotive FC, proud to say, a part of that in its inaugural season, a bit of an all-star squad, because Bob Bigney just hasn't had time to really kind of get things started, but still solid. Punched away by Ketterer on the delivery. Rebound and the bounce straight to Ketterer. Villarreal lets fly, but straight at the man with 12 clean sheets this season, 4th in the USL Championship. Behind Kyle Morton, Zach Lubin, and Matt Pickens of Pittsburgh, Phoenix, and Nashville, respectively. Velasquez. Gomez. To Kiffy. Kiffy leading Locomotive FC with 7 assists this season. Velasquez again to Kiffy. Along the back line looking for another corner, didn't work out. And good work by Villarreal to move it out of trouble and up the wing. Off of Fox, and it will be a Sacramento throw. Eighth notch, keeping the drumbeat moving as El Paso has shown up. Downtown is blue and gold tonight. The Locomotive flag flying above one of the hotels down here, one of the high rises, suspended from a crane. Some of the other high rises with that blue and yellow lighting. And the crowd tonight showing up en masse here at Southwest University Park to watch this team compete. First playoff game here at home. Nice delivery, good intercession by Chiro and Toko. Aleman trying to find Iwasa in the box. This one skied up and over. But Sacramento Republic starting to find the game a little bit. And Mitchell Tainter. Rather, Aleman regretting that last touch that sent it over the crossbar.
Bit of possession from Sacramento, really being patient with the ball, working it up that far right side, switching it out to the near left side, and really trying to get their wingers isolated. Sam Warner and Aleman, they feel like those are their danger players, and they want to get those guys isolated against the outside backs of the Locomotive.
Tainter with a foul on Jerome Kiesewetter, and that will earn Locomotive FC a bit of a respite. This Republic team, 55 goals in the season. It isn't a huge amount, but consider Locomotive FC is Chiro and Toko. Locomotive trying to play out of the back. Up to Salgado it goes, and now up to Yuma. Just 45 goals. That is the least number of goals scored of any team that made the playoffs. Oh, nice turn by Ross, but the delivery a little bit off target, trying to find Gomez. That said, Locomotive's 38 goals conceded tied them for best in the West with Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, we know they didn't give up a lot of goals. However, they had that spell in the middle of the season where they really struggled to find the back of the net. Jerome Kiesewetter went down injured. They lost a bit of form, and it was really difficult for them to find someone who was able to put the ball in the back of the net. That's why the likes of Sebastian Velasquez, the likes of Alessi Bassetti were brought in, because they could relieve some of that pressure on Jerome Kiesewetter in terms of being a goal scorer and always being on and finding the back of the net for the Locomotive.
Kiesewetter getting tied up. Whistled for the foul as he takes down Kanan. Those tend to sting a little more when you're 35, I imagine. And they are looking for some help from the touchline in the Sacramento bench. Well, now he's back up. Kiffy making contact with McCrary, and a half beat, but Farhad Darko, the Dadko, calls the foul on Kiffy.
Not sure if that was a foul.
It's Aleman trying to get into the box to find any Voltson. Salgado, Becky. Chiro and Toko has a little bit of room to roam up the middle. Gets it to Velasquez. His ball handling skills have really been something. Sacramento Republic getting a touch, but the Spaniard Yuma there to help him out. Kiffy. Ross. Velasquez and the Scotsman. Back now to Velasquez. Played back. Seba Velasquez. It's the better of cracking one from above the box. Here's Salgado. Becky. No real opportunity. Sacramento Republic does a pretty decent job of bringing him back. And Locomotive FC will live to fight another day. They will be patient with the ball. It should be pointed out that as much of a stunner as Kiffy's strike was, it came at the end of a 20-pass sequence that got Locomotive FC to the edge of the box, and that ball is out. It'll be a Sacramento Republic throw-in.
Absolutely, and they did a really good job to break that Sacramento block of 8 down and really get into the attacking third. However, once they get into the attacking third, they've got to find a way to circulate the ball and be able to keep the ball in the attacking half and not drop back all the way to their center backs or towards their goalkeeper. They've got to be able to maintain possession in the attacking half for them to be successful in this game.
Fox, who's been the Swiss Army knife, the Englishman, forward, winger, and over the last few months, central defender. In the absence of Mishak Jerome, who went down with an injury playing for his native Haiti in the Gold Cup, as Fox tries to thread a needle, Republic FC having none of that. Well intercepted by Andrew Skundrich, but out for a Locomotive throw. But Fox, though throughout much of his career has been more of a forward player and an attacking player, has really settled into the role of central defender quite well.
He was one of the players that was called upon during that rough spell where they couldn't find the back of the net, and Coach Mark Lowry really trying to tap into the old goal scorer that Andrew Fox was. And when he went up there, he did an absolutely terrific job. His movement as a forward was definitely fluid. He was able to get in behind and force defense back lines to deal with him and deal with his movement, and that created space for other players in the midfield, the likes of Sebastian Contreras and the likes of Omar Salgado and Nick Ross.
Fans, you can continue to follow and enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. USL excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the worldwide leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus, the home of all things USL, and at least 10 games a year on ESPN Deportes. The ESPN family of networks. Here is Salgado. And rather than allowing it to go over for a goal kick, he was trying to push it off to the side. Still went over the back line.
And that play there is you see how the Locomotive are missing a Brian Rebellon. Drew Becky's a natural center back, so he's not the most comfortable as a right back getting up the field, and you can see that in those moments where he's asked and he's needed to get forward, he's not as comfortable, and that's what the Locomotive are missing when Brian Rebellon is not in the lineup for them.
Cameron Iwasa pulling a little square dance move was Yuma to win the ball away from the Sacramento native. And it does make you wonder. Obviously, they are 3 years away from playing in Major League Soccer, but that has to give even the locker room a bit of a boost, doesn't it? And make guys want to show, hey, I might have what it takes to make it up to the next level. Yeah, certainly someone like a Cameron Iwasa would be that kind of fellow. How about Salgado? Have a go.
Or Sam Warner. Those are definitely players that know the culture, that know that they have the DNA of a Sacramento in them. So when it's 2022 and it's time to make that jump into the MLS, I'd imagine those are players that they're going to get rewarded for the time that they put in and the effort and just having that DNA of Sacramento in them.
Certainly Iwasa, or a Sacramento native. Of course, Warner. Oh, solid moves by Drew Becky, and goes down. Call the foul on Sam Warner.
And imagine Sam Warner being upset at the idea of playing in the MLS in Sacramento. Went to college, as you mentioned earlier, at Stanford, right there in the North Cal area. So getting the opportunity to play in the MLS in Sacramento has got to be exciting for him.
Velasquez trying to make some moves, but taken away. Well done by Mitchell Tainter, who gets the counterattack started, but the delivery too far ahead. And speaking of Cameron Iwasa, he was not happy with the delivery.
And that was a missed opportunity for Sacramento Republic. Cameron Iwasa makes a great run out wide. That ball was just a little bit too far in front of him from Aleman, and it should have been to his feet. If it was into his feet, they had numbers advantage, and they could have gotten to goal with a bit of ease.
Great work by Tainter, though, stripping the ball away from Velasquez. Republic FC will get the throw in. McCrary misses on that one, and Yuma happy to pick up the pieces. Here's Fox trying to deliver one over the top. Nobody in blue in the vicinity. The road to the 2019 USL Championship Final reaches its penultimate moment next weekend. For specific match dates and times, visit uslchampionship.com and tune in for every minute of playoff action on ESPN Plus. Locomotive trying to get some pressure up top. Here's Kiffey, nice delivery to Yuma. from Ross Yuma. He is hard to throw off the ball, isn't he?
Just that's the experience. Doesn't really need to do much there. Understands where the pressure is coming from. Just gets his body in between the ball and the player. Feels the player and plays out of it with calmness.
Locomotive FC has won 4 corners to Sacramento's 1 in this first half as we are getting close to the 40th minute. Still no breakthrough for either side. Here's Kiffy roaming around the middle. Up to Salgado, who's off to the left. And Ross. That's a little behind Salgado, but the foul is drawn, and Salgado up in the face of McCrary.
And I like that switch from the Locomotive, getting Omar Salgado on this near left side. I think if he can stay wide and create those 2v1s with James Kiffy, who is comfortable getting up and down the line, I think that could be something that could create chances for the Locomotive. On this left side, you've got Jose Aron Gomez, who naturally wants to tuck in. He's more of a number 9, so you're not getting a lot of width. You're not getting a lot of opportunities down the line on this left side. With Omar Salgado coming to the left side, that could be something that the Locomotive can exploit and take advantage of.
Always a difficult position just off that on either corner of the box, because if you touch it, it could go in. Low delivery into the far post and in. Josue Aron Gomez from James Kiffy. 1-0 Locomotive in the 40th minute. What a delivery. Kiffy's 8th of the season.
The pace on that cross was absolutely terrific from James Kiffy, and Jose Aron Gomez does terrific. He doesn't need a lot of power on it, just has to redirect it, and he does a great job to redirect it towards the left, towards that back post, and he's able to find the side net on the back post. That's a terrific header from Jose Aron Gomez.
Kiffy's ball just dead center perfect, and Gomez, the glancing header. El Paso with a 1-0 lead. Can they keep it going? One of the things about Sacramento Republic in the postseason is in both of the matches they've played, they've had to come from behind. There was Devin Sandoval's goal 15 seconds into their game in Sacramento for New Mexico United. Sacramento scored the next 2 to win 2-1.
That shows you the quality of their team. They don't panic when they get into these situations where they're down 1-0. They know they feel confident in their ability to come back. They stick to the game plan.
And we'll see how it goes. Here's Werner trying to get unstuck from trapping that ball. They'll switch it out wide. Aleman sets one up, left-footed delivery all the way over the back line. And in Reno, Bobby Shuttleworth had a bad mishandle in just the 5th minute that allowed Corey Hertzog to gather it and score it. And you know the MLS veteran was just beside himself there, made a couple of key saves in helping Sacramento stay static, and then they scored the next 3 goals to take a 3-1 win.
And most coaches would say that they're proud of their team's ability to come back and not give up when they get down in these situations. However, those same coaches will be the first to tell you they'll prefer their teams not getting down at all, not having to always come from behind.
That's hard to do. Republic FC, though, have done it twice. Coaches may not prefer it, but you've got to think as Ketterer keeps that one out of trouble and away from Enny Voltsen. You've got to think that helps in the locker room. The coaches may hate it, but the players have got to know, hey, we've got this in us to make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that belief within the team.
Here's Salgado. Ross, Velasquez. Off from Gomez. Here's Seba Velasquez. Dangling 1 against 2. Fires and up and over the crossbar. Got some dip, but it was already about 10 feet over.
Looks like it took a little bit of a deflection, but It's absolutely terrific to just watch Sebastian Velasquez on the ball, how he dances around defenders, just how quick his feet move, how he's able to just shift his body weight and get defenders to lean one way and explode into the space. Absolutely terrific to watch him. He reminds me very much of Messi. Not comparing him to Messi, however, just the way he moves his body and shifts on the ball is very similar to Messi.
Locomotive FC with its 5th corner of the night. He'll take it short. Yuma delivering to the far post and nodded over and away. Barahona getting a little thank you from his goalkeeper, Bobby Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth. This is the first time in his professional career he has not been in Major League Soccer or First Division. But he has certainly, with 3 clean sheets, been a great servant of Republic FC. Cross into the box this time, delivered low and knotted out of trouble. Benny Voltson now crossing Kiesewetter. Not able to get there, it'll roll over. And another corner kick.
Really dangerous ball from Nick Ross, and you see Jerome Kiesewetter just lining it up for it, just waiting for it to get over that last defender so he can pounce on it and head it into the back of the net. I can imagine his eyes getting big, and he's just ready for that.
Here's Ross, who takes him to the right, the Scotsman. 2 goals in the season. Low driving cross into the middle, and Toko taken down. Fans want the penalty called, but didn't look like anybody had sure footing there. 1 minute of stoppage time. Ketterer way out. Give Locomotive FC space. They will play from the back. And do here. Kiffy. Nice pop up the left wing. Good thought. Yuma. Kiffy. Velasquez leaning in to keep it. Away from the waiting feet of Aleman. Stays in play. Gomez. Wow, what acres of space. Gomez still with it. Gomez. High cross, top of the box. Kiesewetter cannot come down. Ross to the far post, drives it over. And that's it for half number 1. Are you not entertained on an El Paso Saturday night? Wow, what a half. Locomotive with the 40th minute strike from Josue Aron Gomez. Lead it 1-0. As we take a look at the goal, great delivery from James Kiffy, the former Sacramento Republic man, and the glancing header, Josue Aron Gomez. Puts it far post. When we come back, highlights, halftime stuff, and more scores from around the rest of the league as we continue. You're watching Locomotive FC.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. At halftime, the score is El Paso Locomotive 1, Sacramento Republic 0. It's been a strong first season for the Locomotive. Not only did they make the playoffs, but they also got their first playoff win. Here's a look at how they got here tonight.
Locomotive FC, in its inaugural year in the USL Championship, is headed to the playoffs.
Velasquez, he scores! Sebastian Velasquez!
So surreal right now. We're going back to El Paso for a home game.
We have the best fans in the entire USL.
It was phenomenal for the guys to see. We were tired coming home. It was a long day. Knowing that it means that much to El Paso, to everybody, just really energizes us. We're more than prepared, more than ready to go and win this game of soccer and go even further. And we're going to do our best to make sure that happens for you, for the city, and for everybody involved in this club.
Velasquez in the back line. Velasquez scores! Salgado in for the goal!
One more half of soccer to determine who moves on into the conference final. Currently, the score in El Paso is Locomotive 1, Sac Republic 0. We'll be right back.
Williams wins it. Seconds remaining, and that will do it.
Warner's going to chip it up over the top. This ball is for Andy Voltson. Andy Voltson with a thunderous strike. Are you kidding?
Sion McFarland. Insurance has arrived here in the state capitol.
Again, and the flag is down. Down the left side, Higashi inside the box with a shot, and it's 1-0 Charleston. Here we go for the win. Van Schaik steps up and he scores.
Fantastic goal from the 31-year-old. Incredible amount of technical ability to go full side volley bike on that. Difference at the final whistle. The mistake, and it's just a pickpocket move from Jack Blake.
What a finish! Third year with the club. Played across, Rasmussen! Masoso wants it. It's Obi, and again Rasmussen doubles the lead!
Santos is onside, he crosses. Off a defender, right back in.
Yes, says Nico!
Nico Brent's definitely got this one, and it's Dos Santos. Forbes, and they make it 7. Brent, goal! Oh my goodness, Nico Brent.
And one more time, Macaulay King gets an assist against RB2. Wow, what a ball. Just clears the defender.
And right at Kelly. Jones slithering through. Derek Jones!
And it knocked away. Oh, what a save. He wants again. Dangerous here, and Sacramento delivers again.
About Phoenix Rising, is that possible?
KD! Oh, he scored!
Opportunities, missed goals, and a good penalty finish.
More than 100 caps for the Reggae Boys. Saved by Lubin. Cody Mizell, Cochran, and Phoenix are off to the Western Conference semifinals.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. The score at halftime here in El Paso, Texas. Locomotive FC 1, Sacramento Republic 0. As we take a look at the playoff scores from around the rest of the United Soccer League. And here we come. Real Monarchs SLC last night, 2-1 winners. And this was on Phoenix Rising Dollar Beer Night where they were undefeated. Their first Dollar Beer Night loss. in the playoffs, and that sends Real Monarchs SLC into the Western Conference Final. Our other scores today, it will be Louisville City FC 2-1 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and that was in Pittsburgh. Nashville SC losing to Indy 11. Both of the road teams in the Eastern Conference lose, or road teams win, I should say. Both the home teams lose. It will be Indianapolis and Louisville City for the Eastern Conference Finals versus each other here in the West. Real Monarchs SLC advances to play the winner of this game. And taking a look at the Western Conference playoff bracket, there you see Sacramento Republic getting it done with 2 big wins over New Mexico United in the play-in round, and then over Reno 1868 FC. That should be 3-2. Here in El Paso, the conference quarterfinals, 3-2 win for Locomotive FC over Fresno, and here they face off against each other. Real Salt Lake, they got the bye. They defeated Orange County and moved on to defeat Phoenix Rising on the road in Phoenix to earn the right to face the winner of this match next Saturday at 1 p.m. in Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's check out the storylines from around the USL right here in El Paso. How about this? El Paso going loco at the airport. I've seen this from time to time, but really didn't expect it. How about Eighth Notch and the Locomotive fans showing up at the airport to welcome Locomotive FC home from their visit to Fresno and their 3-2 win? A huge thank you to the Sun City for their support this week and all season long, showing out here tonight at Southwest University Park as well. Locomotive regular season stats, the highest passing accuracy in the USL Championship by 3 percentage points over Atlanta United 2, and conceded the least number of goals in the West. That's Atlanta United and Real Monarchs, I should say, at 86%. They had the most passes. They had the best passing accuracy. In the USL Championship final, don't forget, you certainly hope that El Paso will be there, but either way, let's keep an eye on that one November 17th. Match stats. The most important one right up at the top. Locomotive FC with a 40th minute glancing header off the free kick by James Kiffey, scored by Josue Aron Gomez. Locomotive with more shots on target, blocked shots, 1 offside, but they also have 7 corner kicks in this match, and the possession 60% being dominated by Locomotive FC. Michael, it is really a pretty solid effort here in this first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can see that Locomotive had the better run of things in that first half, and they're going to have to continue to do what they did in the first half to be successful in the second half. I'd anticipate that Coach Mark Lowry is talking to them about being composed and making sure they're being secure and on the defensive side, but also not sitting back and trying to see out a 1-0 lead.
Let's take our break. When we come back, second half action and maybe a look at the first half highlights as we continue. You're watching Locomotive Soccer. Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park, the locale, El Paso, Texas. Locomotive FC with a 1-0 win over Sacramento Republic FC. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun here with you. As we take a look at the first half highlights, most of them for the men in blue. Locomotive FC beginning with Omar Salgado. Kept it moving. He did not miss by much. Bobby Shuttleworth called upon to make a save. Andrew Fox, the nice delivery over the top, looking for Kiesewetter. A little too far. Shuttleworth, the easy gather. On the other side, that one just up and over. Great effort by McCrary. But here is the moment of the match so far. Josue Aron Gomez. We talk about this over and over again. Balls from the left corner or the right corner of the box, such dangerous territory because it's almost like a scratch out and pool. Any touch from either team could go in the back of the net. That happened to be a very good touch from Josue Aron Gomez in the 40th.
Yeah, it was a great service, a great cross from James Kiffey, and Jose Aron Gomez does just enough to get a flick on it and redirect it towards that back post. It's a terrific goal, and the Locomotive are definitely happy to go into the half leading this game 1-0.
And honestly, if you look at the balance of the statistics, it is deserved, this lead for El Paso Locomotive FC. They have dominated, although they haven't made most of it pay off. It certainly did on the set piece there, and James Kiffey delivering an absolute beauty to the man on loan from FC Juarez Bravos, also a part of the Mountain Star Sports Group.
Yeah, and I'm sure the message in the locker room was you got to continue to push forward. You can't sit back down and try to defend a 1-0 lead for 45 minutes. That's recipe for disaster, and the Locomotive are going to look to continue to push forward, possibly get a second, maybe a third, and come out with this game with a win.
How lonely is it? You see a nice shot from the goalpost cam of Logan Ketterer. Back in the back for Locomotive FC. You know, he wants to kind of redeem things from his giveaway last week, as really does Bobby Shuttleworth. Neither goalkeeper had the best of matches last Saturday night, but both of them wound up with wins and are here this evening in the Western Conference semifinals. Maybe the loneliest position on the field. Sacramento Republic starting things, and a foul called, a bit of a late whistle from Farhad Dadko, our referee. And I think maybe more to give an opportunity for Jordan McCrary to shake off his challenge. High ball. Ketterer will gather. No danger to him. Nobody in a white and gray jersey nearby. And an easy restart. Fox up to Ross. Gets taken down and the foul drawn. Scotsman pops right back up to restart. Quite the international roster and much experience for Mark Lowry's squad. He has a way that he wants to play. And especially younger players. There's definitely a learning curve. There was for Josue Aron Gomez, who isn't necessarily the youngest player out there, but he started most of his tenure here in El Paso on the bench before getting into more and more games, and then, of course, developing that repertoire with, that rapport, I should say, with Sebastian Velasquez.
It's not the easiest system to play in. However, it's very enjoyable for the players because you have so much of the ball and you dominate the game on both sides of the ball. So players, it takes a while for players to understand it, and that's why it's easier for the veterans and players that are familiar with the system to adapt.
Kiesewetter rolls one in. Salgado. Shuttleworth clears away. You talked about it. Gomez, a beautiful ball delivered up the left wing to Salgado as things maybe switched around a little bit for Mark Lowry's squad, at least as far as everybody's starting in this second half of play. But you saw the system at work. And Salgado crossing, overlapping run. Gomez, beautiful ball. Or from Kiesewetter, I should say, for Salgado. And Jerome Kiesewetter, Omar Salgado kind of switching places there in the early going.
Yeah, and it's good to see Omar Sacramento make that run into the box. Just not putting enough on the ball to get into the back of the net. Just trying to redirect it towards the frame of goal, and does that. However, not enough pace on it to beat out Shuttlesworth and make this game 2-0.
Good opportunity, but the veteran MLS netminder. 6 seasons, a part of the New England Revolution, 3 seasons in Minnesota. All 3 seasons they've been a part of Major League Soccer. Playing out of the back with some pressure by Gomez. Kiesewetter gets a touch, well done. Velasquez. Kiffy. Second effort, Kiesewetter. Good turn aside by Villarreal, but back it comes and glances off Kiesewetter's face. He wasn't quite ready for the delivery. It'll be a goal kick for Bobby Shuttleworth. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN throughout the next 3 seasons, all the way through 2022. Excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with a worldwide leader in sports for at least 3 more years. ESPN Plus, your home for all things USL related. And at least 19 games a year featured on the ESPN family of networks. That includes games on ESPN Deportes as well. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and with ESPN Plus. Such a wonderful service. For $5 a month, you can watch all the soccer you want. USL Championship, League One. Keep an eye on El Paso's own Ricardo Pepi. Coming together there, Kiesewetter. But controlled by Jaime Villarreal. A man from Inglewood, California. Okay, now they'll switch it out left. Barahona going to work as Werner, trying to see his way through it. Handball, nope, says the referee. Play on. Good work by Drew Becky. At least in the eyes of Farhad Dutko. Velasquez ready to go. We may have our second booking. Tactical foul by Aleman. Persistent infringement as you see the referee motion to different parts of the pitch. And into the book goes Kevin Aleman in minute 51.
And just before the foul, Sebastian Velasquez had the opportunity to slip in Oceano Gomez. He's not able to, but however, he's able to draw a foul and get a yellow card on Kevin Aleman.
Call this a good 40 yards from goal. But Kiffy with those left-footed restarts, already shown to be a danger man tonight. Waves that wand of his to the far post, and getting a glance to it is Andy Fox. Pops up on him, and it'll be a goal kick for Shuttleworth. A crisp November evening. But if you'd ask the fans here in El Paso, you ready to dress warmly and watch some playoff soccer? I think they'd happily say yes, and indeed they are out in force tonight at Southwest University Park, ready to go to work, though. Sam Werner nods it into the middle. It'll be a throw-in for El Paso. Werner's delivery nowhere near a white and gray jersey. Mitchell Tainter. Skip it out to the right side. McCrary. Quality ball, and Enev Olsen tipped away. Oh, that man doesn't need much, does he?
That's a great ball from Jordan McCray to split the defense of the Locomotive, to put the right weight on that pass and find Enev Olsen. And all he's trying to do is just dink it towards that back post. Logan Ketterer does a great job to just get some fingertip on it and keep it out of the back of the net.
That was Skundrich, begging your pardon. That's delivered in. Cleared out by El Paso, trying to start something on the counter. Delivered wide, nice slow roller. Kept on Velasquez. Great work from Kiesewetter to find him. Roll to the open space. A hurdle. Velasquez delivery. Kiesewetter gives a thumbs up a little late on his turn. Otherwise, he was in. Locomotive usually patient, but given an opportunity to counter like that, they will take those opportunities. Here's Yuma pointing it back. Oh, bad turnover, and there's Enny Olsen. That's deflected. Getting in front of that is Chiro Ntoko, but that's not the man you want to give the ball to.
That's a rare mistake from Yuma in the build-up. And he immediately puts his hand up and said, that's my fault, boys. Very fortunate not to get punished by that mistake.
Long ball over the top, dealt with well by Tainter, keeping Kiesewetter at bay. Speaking of guys you don't want to give the ball to in dangerous spots. Player of the month from May, he's found the going much rougher toward the latter stages of the season, but still paces this Locomotive team. With 12 goals in the season. Should be pointed out, Josue Aron Gomez has closed the gap to 5. It used to be the largest in the championship between the top scorer and second place on any individual side in the 36-team USL championship. And he held that through a really rough patch through midsummer and into fall.
I think with that goal from Josue Aron Gomez, that puts him on 8 goals of the year.
Good work to get it to Werner. His drive cleared by Ntoko. Locomotive. Logan Ketterer taking no chances, but it will bounce for Kiesewetter, who can't get the trap he wanted to keep it in play. And it looks like we have a sub, but now maybe not. Oh, somebody came without their paperwork. Viljan Bijev about ready to check into the match. So Mr. Dodko says we'll wait a bit. Nice bit of running here. Aleman trying to sneak under somebody's arm and draw some contact. Locomotive will turn the ball over. Right side, the drive, Enny Olsen all the way through. And the cries of anguish coming from some of the members of the Republic. And here is our substitution. He'll replace Kevin Aleman. Will Viljan Bijev in the 57th minute.
Kevin Aleman had a great first half. He did well to stay wide and create some width on the right side for Sac Republic. However, didn't really do enough in terms of challenging James Keefe and forcing James Keefe to have to defend 1v1 like Sam Warner did on the right side.
And picking up the yellow card in the 51st as well. Easy decision maybe for Simon Elliott. Again though, loose along that left side, Sam Warner. Although his cross comes to nothing. Locomotive seemingly giving him a little bit of space to roam on the left-hand side. Simon Elliott, veteran of the LA Galaxy, won the CONCACAF Champions Cup in 2000, MLS Cup in 02, an Open Cup in 01. Playing for Crew, for Fulham, for the San Jose Earthquakes, Chivas USA. The New Zealand International has really done great work with Sacramento Republic FC, and of course when you have the support of a front office who will pick up players like Thomas Enny Olsen, get a loan for Bobby Shuttleworth, Well, that certainly helps matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's one that's been in the Sacramento organization for many, many years. He was on the youth side prior to being named the first team's coach. So he's got that, he has that Sac Republic DNA in him as well. So it's easier for him, and he has the trust and the belief from the front office.
Rolled in, and Olsen has it stolen off his foot by Fox, who gets taken down and fouled. Skundrich. But Andrew Fox recognizing the danger from Thomas Olsen, the Danish international.
And we've seen Sac Republic increase their pressure and really put El Paso on their back, on their heels in this second half.
There's Olsen going to work again on James Kiffey. Strike that. That's Bijev. Giro and Toko. Swipes at this one to send it long, looking for Kiesewetter. Dealt with well by Sac Republic. Of course, Locomotive FC missing Brian Rebellon, up for Defender of the Year, one of 3 finalists for that amazing honor. When you talk about 36 teams in a league, and you're one of the 3 finalists for Defender of the Year, you're an important cog in the machine, and he is, of course, out. We spoke to him before the match and might be contemplating surgery and a long recovery. We certainly wish him the speediest of recoveries. He said, you know, if the results come in and they're good, Locomotive keeps playing, he could be back in the lineup, but not there tonight. He says he's more nervous not playing than he is with an opportunity in the field. That's driven low. Again, Fox, good turn. But Brian Rebellon not in the lineup apparently, though. He's with some good friends. We'll wait to see how this sorts out. Barahona up top, and a slice by Keenan. Delivered well wide. We'll see if we can, he's maybe like Where's Waldo in a crowd of maybe 6,000 or 7,000, but we'll see if we can pick out Brian Rebellon, who we understand, we might be able to slim this down to a certain section of Southwest University Park. Kind of an infamous section, maybe. Section 105. That would be where the 8th notch roams. Salgado trying to get it up to Velasquez. Turned aside. Good work by Villarreal. Bijev trying to move it forward. Yuma there to intercept, and here's Intoko venturing forward. Keeps venturing forward. The big man, team captain, playing right wing. Into Velasquez, that's the pass to make. Seba Velasquez rolling it to Kiesewetter. Slow cross, he does not get it to go where he wants it to. Warner. Villarreal. Skundrich. Also won 3 championships along with Warner at Stanford. Delivered, denied. Here is the shot up and over by Sam Warner. Sam Warner skying that one. Locomotive FC making a substitution on in the 62nd as we take a look at Warner's effort wide up and over. Richie Ryan will replace Josue Aron Gomez.
And this is a really important substitution for the Locomotive, is veteran leadership in that midfield. They've struggled to build out and get out of pressure the entire second half. They've rarely crossed the halfway line into the attacking half, except for the one run from Chiro and Toko. So having the veteran leadership and the movement of Richie Ryan is going to be really important. It's going to be crucial and really help them in the second half.
Ryan's already gotten a touch. Bijev deflected. Ketterer gathers. Richie Ryan, the 35-year-old veteran from Temple to OE, Ireland. to say 34 years old. We don't want to age him too much. 15 years in Europe and the United States. His debut with Sunderland in the English Premier League back in the day. But there is a man who has crossed the world a time or two and back again. Coming to El Paso, anchoring things. He has been an absolute resource as well for Mark Lowry on that sideline. And you want to talk about a workhorse. One of the best passing efficiency ratings in the team, which is saying something because he has perhaps the most passes. As McCrary fouls Nick Ross. Such an important cog in that number 6 role. He and Yuma almost a double pivot there so much of the time, as Simon Elliott will bring on someone else as well. His second substitution upcoming. And Sam Warner will exit here in the 65th minute officially. Replacing him will be Dariusz Formella, Polish native. He's another one of those mid-season acquisitions who has done some wonderful work. Scored a couple of goals. The midfield playmaker replacing Sam Warner here today. I think Simon Elliott took a look at some of those empty crosses from the left and decided to do something about that. Here's Becky trying to escape trouble. Yuma will be whistled for the foul. Bit of a dangerous play coming in on Formella.
Becky's got to do a better job of just relieving pressure. If that means putting it towards the end line or putting up the channel, he's got to relieve pressure and not give up the ball or give up a free kick in an area like this.
Barahona right into the middle, tipped in. Ketterer with an easy save. They got to Dekel Kanan. Kanan not able to get anything behind that. Ketterer will go up the left wing to Kiffy. Gets loose again. Good pressure though by Sacramento Republic. And here's Bijev. Bijev the high cross. Looped up and tantalizingly missed. And Voltson will not find a better spot, but could not find the frame. They say deflected up and over. It'll be a corner kick.
And this is a cross into the box that's not dealt with well from the Locomotive. 3 players there, not really communicating and getting this out of pressure. And it just falls right to Eder Voltson, and he has a hit at it, and it just goes off the back of Andrew Fox and out for a corner kick.
And it comes, the skying header. Yuma clears it away. Tainter, the big man. Couldn't get there before Yuma did. But Andy Fox, that was an important intervention. Now crossed. Bijev back to the far post. Off the line, Andy Fox. What an important intervention again for El Paso. And a foul on Jerome Kiesewetter. Takes down Barahona in a very dangerous spot. Kiesewetter may go into the book. Nope, that's just the spray.
The Locomotive are playing with fire right now.
Andy Fox. Skundrich cannot believe his luck. But the turnovers. Sacramento Republic knocking on the door. And an absolutely huge free kick from about 25 yards out. Andy Voltson back there. Bijev as well. It'll be Bijev and knocked away. I think that might have been Velasquez who has the ball and gets tackled off, and that will be a free kick. And oh my, Andy Voltson just loses his head. Chiro and Toko coming to the defense of Richie Ryan, who is still down. And Farhad Dadko with some decisions to make. Any Voltson a clear chest bump as the Dane lost it. Dadko pushing everybody away while he gets word from his assistant referees. They are all in communication, but Richie Ryan, he knows how to take a foul. Let's take a look. Velasquez tackled off the ball by Annie Voltson. Annie Voltson doesn't like that. Well, Richie Ryan coming in. And it does not appear that there will be any cards issued.
Very stupid from Eddie Voltson. Making the foul was fine. He was going to get carded for the foul, and then the push on Richie Ryan. Not sure why the referee is carding Richie Ryan, and you can see his frustration with receiving a card. He's the one that was pushed and chest bumped to the ground. Not sure why he's getting a yellow card, and that frustration is very apparent on the face of Richie Ryan, and it's apparent on the Sac Republic players.
Well, Richie Ryan kind of leaning forward, and Annie Voltson into him. It was right in front of the referee, so perhaps this is why Dadko decided to go to the front pocket, not only for Annie Voltson, but also for Richie Ryan. Mark?
Not much in that chest bump.
Yeah. Lowry a bit upset. Richie Ryan was certainly up in Annie Voltson's face.
And rightfully so. He's trying to protect this player as a leader on this group, as one of the veteran leaders. He's recognizing that's important, and he's got to make sure that Sebastian Velasquez is protected. Players can't get a free shot at Sebastian Velasquez.
Well, if that was a foul and the whistle was there, that was a foul already, and then he comes in with a chest bump. Oh boy, Annie Voltson is lucky to be in this match right now.
Absolutely.
Because that's 2 fouls back to back.
And I don't think the referee's carding him for the chest bump. There's nothing in the chest bump. However, the card should be
for the tackle.
For the tackle.
Velasquez. And Velasquez doesn't happen often, but he lost it on the touchline. It'll be a throw in for Sac Republic. Well, the plot thickens. 1-0 Locomotive FC, hanging on by a thread entering the 72nd minute. Kenan, Bijev. Doing a good job to keep it in place. McCrary lofted away by El Paso, and a foul on Locomotive FC. Kiesewetter whistled for Locomotive. Barahona crossing high into the box. Bijev, it'll bounce for him. Cracks one, deflected. The flag is up, didn't matter. No. Strike that over the crossbar, corner kick.
Again, the Locomotive are really finding it difficult to get out of their own half. They keep looking to play their way out of it when they can relieve pressure and just find the channels and get up the field and put some pressure on Sacramento in their defensive half. Their Locomotive might need to change their approach.
Bijev, the low cross. Richie Ryan got a piece. Bijev back with it, far post. Skipped wide, turning, firing, deflected. Eddie Voltson, no love. Everybody just keeps getting in his way. But great work by Locomotive FC's defense when push comes to shove, almost literally.
Definitely a gritty second half effort from the Locomotive. Not the skillful, the passing, smooth soccer we're used to. However, whatever it takes to get it done, I'm sure they're willing to do it.
That was Kiffy in that last intervention. Any way you can, Locomotive looking to hang on to this lead on the restart from Ketterer. Salgado largely silent in the second half. Here's Ryan, gets a nod. Kiesewetter Kiesewetter. Play on. Tangled with Skundrich. Barahona. Crossing. Drives one. Bounces. McCrary waiting for it. He'll put that over for Bijev, but where he thought Bijev might be, not where Bijev was. Bijev from Fresno, California, born in Bulgaria. 3 assists on the season. Entering the game in the 57th, and he has provided a spark for Sacramento Republic FC. Trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, as is El Paso Locomotive, with the 40th minute goal from Josue Aron Gomez. Barahona. Fox. Bijev, far post delivery, knotted out by Becky. And lost by Bijev. It'll be a Locomotive throw-in. And we've got a substitution for El Paso in the 75th minute, coming off the field. Jerome Kiesewetter for Sebastian Contreras, and a little more midfield control.
And I like this substitution from Mark Lowry, going with Omar Salgado up top. He's a player that can stretch the back line of Sacramento. He's got some pace. He's got a bit more pace than Jerome Kiesewetter, so they can look to stretch it and find him over the top. And we're bringing in Sebastian Contreras into the midfield. Now you've got another player in there that's tidy on the ball, that's able to play his way out of tight spaces, which should help them again in this build-up and trying to play their way out of the pressure for Sac Republic.
Chiro and Toko, last touched by Seba Contreras, a throw-in for Barahona and Sac Republic. Again, Locomotive. That is just the way they do it. They will play out of the back. Tainter. Bijev. Taking off the ball. Still trying to win it was Kiffy. It does. And here is Velasquez. Velasquez has a good bounce for him. Salgado. Long cross looking for Contreras. Run down on the other side by Becky. Contreras with it. The Argentinian. Winding. He'd love to take a crack, but lost it. Formella. Good job of staying with him. Back the other way, Iwasa. Talk about Kiesewetter being silent. I don't remember calling Iwasa's name much this second half at all.
Yeah, Locomotive done a really good job of keeping him quiet in this game. He's definitely a dangerous player. He leads the team in goals on the year. However, that's what makes players like Iwasa dangerous. They can be quiet for 89 minutes and then pop up at some point and get a goal.
17 in the season for Sacramento Republic. Here is Salgado, patiently waiting. Ross flashing into the box. Salgado will keep it. Velasquez. It's Contreras. Contreras has it go into the side netting. Barahona. Tainter. You have to say, decidedly conservative tactics from Mark Lowry, bringing in the substitutions he has. Richie Ryan's a game manager, taking off the goal scorer Gomez, and then taking off another forward, Jerome Kiesewetter, for the midfield presence of Seba Contreras, who plays a little more forward, but does quite a bit of game management. Here's McCrary. Nods it for himself. The cross. Chiro and Toko, the team captain. Oh, it escapes James Kiffy, an uncharacteristic mishandle, and it'll be another corner.
And I don't necessarily know if it's how Coach Mark Lowry set out to play this second half. However, the pressure from Sacramento Republic has forced the Locomotive to adjust.
McCrary. That's deflected by Contreras. Backwards it goes. That was the 5th corner for Sac Republic in this match. Barahona, McCrary. Long cross into the box, knotted off the bar. Kainan had it right there. Keeper's best friend, the crossbar. Oh, great deflection by Velasquez. Gets it by McCrary. Velasquez turning, chipping, and a great intervention at the back. Barahona just waited, the El Salvador native, to pull the trigger on that block until the very last. Velasquez, maybe a step too long, back the other way. Low cross, top of the box, chipped in, wide, Ketterer, what a save!
Wow, what a save from Logan Ketterer, reading that all the way and doing enough. Again, we talked about Cameron Iwasa. He's been silent this entire game, and then he pops up and forces Logan Ketterer to make the save of the game so far.
Bijev to the far post, up and over. Another deflection, says Farhad Dadko, and another corner kick coming. Iwasa, perfect delivery, and Ketterer. What a gut check. 80th minute, but Locomotive FC under siege. Bijev ready to cross one in. Up high, back to Bijev from Barahona. It's deflected. Let's take a look at this one from Goldcam's perspective. Oh, get down with your bad self, Logan Ketterer.
Just does enough to get a fingertip on it, and you see how excited, how happy he is to make that save. He hasn't been called on a lot during this season. However, when he's been called upon, he's had to deliver, and that's a moment that could have changed the outcome of this game.
Here's Becky. He'll cross it long. Velasquez. A lot of open space for Velasquez. Kiffy and Velasquez interchanging. They'll send it back into the middle, and Richie Ryan. You'll notice Richie Ryan, if he takes 2 touches in the ball, he probably thinks that's 2 touches too many. Dummy passes. He knows exactly where he wants it to go, and he springs Ross up the right wing. Ross behind Salgado, trying to turn, taken down in the box, and penalty is the call. Dadko took his time, but for the 2nd straight match, Locomotive FC has a penalty awarded after the 80th minute. And it's the veteran Kainan who sweeps the foot. As we say, Farhad Dadko, our referee.
That's a clear penalty for me. Kainan didn't need to go down, didn't need to make that tackle. He was still in good position. You just needed to make sure Omar Salgado didn't get a shot off. Not sure why he was going to ground that early. He scissors the legs of Omar Salgado. I don't know if he got the ball. Doesn't look like he got the ball from that replay. And the referee was right to call it PK.
Well, it will be a Sebastian to take the penalty kick, but it will not be Velasquez. It will be Contreras. The Colombian Sebastian Velasquez netted what turned out to be the match winner in Fresno. He will give Seba Contreras the opportunity to perhaps seal things here in the 83rd minute for El Paso.
And this is a player who's not lacking in confidence. Talking to Andrew Forrest this week about...
Here is Contreras, rolls it in. Wrong foot Shuttleworth. 2-0 Locomotive in the 83rd. They want to hear El Paso They are certainly hearing El Paso.
And another timely goal by a Locomotive player. In the last game against Fresno, it was James Kiffey scoring the timely goal. In this game, it's Sebastian Contreras. Cool, calm, collected, slotting the ball into the back of the net from the penalty spot, giving the Locomotive a little bit more of a cushion. They've had to defend for quite a bit in this second half, and now they have a 2-goal lead with less than 6 minutes left in the game, and halfway into the conference final.
Knotted out into touch by Drubecki. The smoke pots are smoking in section 105. El Paso fans loving what they see from this Locomotive team. An expansion side in 2019, 2-0 leaders over the 2014 champions, who have had their own great run of success in the postseason. Does it come to an end tonight? In minute 85, wide, Velasquez. He's having some fun with McCrary back there.
Absolutely, and he's going to have to be careful, obviously, with them winning 2-0. Sacramento's got to feel a little bit frustrated in this game, and that's where you don't want the chippiness, the nasty tackles coming in on a player as important as Sebastian Velasquez.
Locomotive players drawing the olays from the home crowd tonight, but they will give off here to Skundrich. Skundrich, one of those who had a clutch save. In it comes. Far post drive and well wide. Just not what they were looking for, Dariusz Formella. Goal kick for Logan Ketterer. They're in minute 86 in El Paso, Texas. Temperatures dipping into the 50s in the Sun City. El Paso, you've got to say in this second half, some cagey tactics by Mark Lowry. Kind of echoing the end of daylight savings time. Locomotive this second half has fallen back, you could say. Doesn't matter, they still have another goal. 2-0 off the foot of that man, Sebastian Velasquez. Sebastian Contreras, I should say. Salgado bumped off but keeps possession. Good pass by Ross, and that'll be a foul called. Dodko taking the abuse of Formella and Tainter. But Ross knew where he wanted to go with the ball. Salgado knew where he wanted to be and was prevented from getting there. Eighth notch. Did we see Rebellon in there? Brian Rebellon celebrating with Locomotive's supporters group. The eighth notch. That is the most open a throttle can get on a steam locomotive. Contreras taken down, and now they kick the ball at him as he's on the turf. And things are just getting chippy. Obviously, Sacramento Republic very frustrated tonight. You can't say, though, that Sacramento Republic has not had its opportunities to tie this match.
And that's where the frustration comes from. They've done everything that they can think of in this second half. They've had loads of chances, hit the crossbar, had Logan Ketterer make a terrific stave. Andrew Fox clearing one off the line. They've had chances in this second half, and for them, they're not sure. They can't explain why they're not even in this game or even up, and how they're down. They're surprised and they're confused at how they're down 2-0 in this game.
Contreras, Ross. Here's Becky to cross in. Becky will sweep it wide. Velasquez waiting. Seba Velasquez to the far post and in! What a strike! Seba Velasquez punches El Paso's ticket into the Western Conference Finals. Side netting, 88th minute, 3-0 Locomotive.
What a goal. What a player. We talked about it before the game. When Sebastian Velasquez, Jose Aron Gomez, when those guys score for the Locomotive, they have been undefeated. And here we see Sebastian Velasquez getting the third goal, essentially the one that puts them in, puts this game out of reach for Sacramento Republic, and it's absolutely terrific. And you see Southwest University Park just celebrating, erupting into a stadium of celebration right now.
El Paso, Texas, home to Locomotive FC in its inaugural season, will be playing in Salt Lake City in a week's time. 1 p.m. kickoff. You can watch the game on ESPN+. What a thrill for the fans here in El Paso, Texas, who came to support their home team, Locomotive FC. The crazy train keeps rolling here in minute 90.
And Sacramento Republic has got to feel a bit disappointed with this scoreline. They definitely have to feel that the Locomotive were not 3 goals better than them in this game. However, the difference was in the two teams today was the finishing ability. Inside the 18-yard box, the Locomotive were a bit better than a lot better than Sac Republic. They were able to find 3 goals, put 3 in the back of the net, and where Sac Republic could not break that seal of the Locomotive defense.
And what a time to come alive, because really in the regular season the roles were reversed. Here's Salgado. Salgado chipped and earns a corner. Tainter right where he needed to be, and El Paso Locomotive FC can take all the time they want to walk this one off. 3 minutes of stoppage time, according to our referee Farhad Nadko. But El Paso Locomotive FC, an incredibly long season. Sebastian Velasquez, such a huge pickup on the ball now. Contreras. Back to Velasquez. Locomotive FC content to take the air out of this one. Andy Fox. The return of professional soccer in the Sun City of El Paso as Yuma earns the foul from Villarreal. Really, quite an occasion as Locomotive FC will make a substitution. Chapa Herrera, El Paso zone coming on. And he will replace Nick Ross here in stoppage time. But this city, which had for many years not had any professional soccer, and this is one city, obviously, there's a great affinity for Liga MX in El Paso, Texas. You can walk through and on any given Sunday in the mall, there are plenty of Cowboys jerseys out there, but plenty of Tigres, America, Chivas. Anytime you walk through the mall in El Paso, you will see all of those jerseys. This is a town that loves its football. They have been aching for some success. FC Juarez Bravos have certainly scratched that itch a bit. But to have your own team, I think, has been a wonderful thing, and all credit goes to Mountain Star Sports Group. Andy Forrest, Mark Lowry, the entire front office for giving El Paso something that I think is just going to continue to make inroads. I know this is your first year in El Paso, Michael, but certainly you see the love for the game here in the Sun City.
Absolutely, and it's just so impressive to see the Locomotive get this win. In the last 5 years, out of 17 expansion teams, only 2 have made it past the first round. Only 1 has made it past the second the conference semifinal. So to see the Locomotive get this win puts them in rare territory in the history of the USL Championship.
The cell phone lights are out in El Paso, Texas. And we are seconds away from a big celebration in the Sun City. The restart by Barahona. Low drive, Chiro Ntoko clears, and that's it. Locomotive FC, in its first season of existence, is off to Salt Lake City, Utah, to battle Real Monarchs for the Western Conference Championship. A 3-0 resounding win over Sacramento Republic. Brian Rebellon's out of section 105. He's ready to celebrate with his teammates. Sad to see an end to Sacramento Republic FC's season. But as we take a look at the second half goals scored by Locomotive FC, Contreras, an excellent penalty. The Argentinian Seba Velasquez, the first to congratulate him, the man who got the big penalty versus Fresno last week. But how about this for Velasquez, who gets his own crack into the side netting in minute 88. 3-0 Locomotive. Will be back in a bit to wrap things up.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
FC, happy campers in El Paso, Texas, 3-0 winners over Sacramento Republic to earn their way into the Western Conference Final in its inaugural season. Duke Heath and Michael Balogun with you. Here from El Paso, Texas, joyous scenes. Richie Ryan and Mark Lowry. Ryan, the veteran Irishman, coming on in the second half and providing the steady tiller. And then Locomotive scored 2 more goals. He was there for defense. It didn't matter, Michael. What a finish. As eighth notch celebrating with the fans, Seba Contreras will be doing the Estrella Jalisco Estrella of the match here very shortly. But obviously, there's some celebrating to do, Mike.
Yeah, this is a terrific win for the Locomotive. Talked about it at the pregame. When Jose Aaron Gomez scores for the Locomotive, they have yet to lose a game. He was absolutely terrific in getting them that first goal, giving them that lead. And then they had to weather some storms. They weathered the storms from Sac Republic in that second half until they were able to find that second goal. Omar Salgado does a great job drawing that penalty, and Sebastian Contreras, how calm could he have been? Cool, calm, collected, slots it into the back of the net, gives the Locomotive a little bit of cushion, and then Sebastian Velasquez. What can you say? What more can you say about him? Since the time he's landed in El Paso, he's been absolutely terrific for the Locomotive, and he steps up again, scores that third goal, and seals the game. And Locomotive are on to the conference final against Real Monarchs.
His 5th goal of the season, Sebastian Velasquez. And it's going to be apparently a double Estrella of the match. Estrellas of the match. Seba Velasquez and Logan Ketterer, who made a clutch save. He gets, let's not forget, after Logan Ketterer, as I put it earlier, served up the pizza that gave Fresno FC at that point the go-ahead goal 2-1. You knew he had a chip on his shoulder, and when he was called upon, he made the biggest defensive move of the night with an absolutely clutch save on Cameron Iwasa. Let's check the replay of that goal, attempt by Iwasa that was turned aside by Ketterer.
And then that's what great goalkeepers do when they're caught upon. They respond, and you see Cameron Iwasa getting a good hit on the ball. That ball is going to the lower left corner of the goal. And Logan Ketterer with an outstretched arm just does enough to get a fingertip on it and push it out for a corner kick. And you can see how excited and how elated he was to make that save and keep the game leveled 1-0.
Outstanding work. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to toss it to PA announcer Chris Babcock, who will introduce our estrella of the match. Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. On the field, your first estrella of the match. Andrew, take it away.
El Paso, how you feeling? I'm here with Logan Ketterer, your estrella of the match goalkeeper. Logan, walk us through how you're feeling right now, going to the Western Conference Finals in our first year. How does it feel?
That's so exciting. We're so happy for the city. You can see it on all of our faces, man. This is awesome for us and for this whole city.
Absolutely. Walk us through. Foxy saving one off the line with his head or with his face. A lot of pressure there in the middle of the second half. How did you guys recover and come back to score 2 more goals to win 3-0?
It's an entire team performance. Foxy had 2 or 3 blocks, some huge tackles, and we stuck our chances when we got that momentum back. So back to front, it wasn't a clean half, but we got through it. We fought. We were dirty, and that's the way we got to get it.
Inaugural season, but you guys aren't new to soccer. What's it going to take to go into Real Salt Lake, Real Monarchs, and get a W next Saturday?
We got to keep that passion, that energy. You guys brought the energy tonight. We just got to keep that up, and we're going to bring back a W for you guys.
That's your estrella of the match, Logan Ketterer.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what success looks like. Fans cheering, players cheering the fans. Outstanding work by Locomotive FC from top to bottom. Duke Keith, Michael Balogun back with you. Our estrella of the match, well-deserved with his 13th shutout of the season. It comes in the postseason. Logan Ketterer, absolutely huge as we take a look at some of the highlights from this second half especially here tonight. They walked out to Crazy Train. Locomotive FC 3-0 over Sacramento Republic. Eighth notch with cheers. Sebastian Contreras made it 2-0. But how about Sebastian Velasquez? Here from El Paso, Texas, it's on to the Western Conference Finals for Michael Balogun. For our producer, Juan Gutierrez, I'm Duke Keith. So long from a happy El Paso, Texas.